what is a normal level of forgetfulness or brain fog for someone who's in their 30s or 40s that is baseline and is normal and shouldn't lead to people sort of freaking out?
What a great question. Because it's, at this point, I should say I don't know. As Ayesha said, a good scientist would say I don't know. But I'm going to delve in because we have a podcast to speak about.
We have to say something, right?
No, because otherwise I'll be sitting here saying I don't know. And that's a great scientist. But reality is it's a great question because if there's any change, and the change should be not be detected just by you, but by people that know you. If there's any change from a baseline, it's a point of worry. Now, that worry doesn't mean you have the beginnings of dementia. It could be that the anxiety level is bad, or your life is overwhelming, or focus is affected. I say that focus is the gatekeeper of consciousness, and focus is the first thing that affects your cognition, memory, and everything else. And the other part of this is if you fix focus, you open up a doorway to incredible cognitive capacity. Not fix focus, but improve focus. So that's one.
I have to think that focus is taking a hit across the board with mobile phones and the algorithms that are just getting better and better to kind of draw us in.
No, that's why this makes this beautiful question. So if there's a delta, if there's a change from a baseline that you detected yourself or others detected or both, then it should be investigated. Because the first thing people do, and people come to me all the time for this, and I detect, there's depression. That's the most common. Anxiety, that's the second most common. Third is they're just overwhelmed. Fourth is medications, certain medications that affect their focus and things like that.
So depression itself as a condition will increase forgetfulness and brain fog?
Well, depression, when we talk about the different kind of dementias, there's a dementia, although it's less popularly used now, it's called pseudodementia. Not pseudo as in false, but it's not a degenerative dementia or a permanent dementia related to depression. People have severe depression. Their depression is so bad that they can't do their daily activities. When you speak to them, I had one patient, the depression was so bad that they couldn't maintain alertness and focus to the end of the sentence. Not a single sentence could be finished because it would be interrupted by that depression, by anxiety, by loss of focus. That's the extreme. But imagine the whole spectrum. So any level of depression is going to affect your focus, your memory, things of that nature. Lack of sleep, pain. Pain is another important one. So if somebody's having any change in their memory, they should figure out if it's related to any of those. And if it's not related to those, the next thing is metabolic stuff, thyroid. Very common. In fact, one of the things approved by insurance in the United States, one of the few things, it's B12 and thyroid as markers of cognitive decline. So check their thyroid. That could hypothyroidism is one of those. And then B12, low B12 levels is another one. So the answer, in short, although I went long, is if there's any change from baseline, investigate because it's a reversible thing usually. Okay.
And point being there is that it's not always a neurodegenerative process. It could be a bunch of things.
Correct. And treatable things. By the way, if they're treatable and you leave them like as the way they are, it can get worse to the point that it becomes a neurodegenerative process. For example, sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is obstruction of oxygenation during sleep because of blockage or central sleep apnea. So there are studies that show that as sleep apnea, untreated, can increase your risk of dementia significantly. Some people studies say 70% and others, but it's significantly. So that's a treatable thing, either with weight loss, with surgery, or more commonly with these devices that can, and that's completely true. But if it's not treated, then it becomes first attention and focus, fatigue, mood disorders, even stroke and heart disease, but definitely cognitive decline and dementia.